This is the introductory video trying to explain how to make a double-sided Sierpinski triangle in double-sided knitting. So here you can see a green fractal on a red background, and on the other side it's a red fractal on a green background. You can make these as big or as small as you like. You could actually make one that was just that much. You could make a really diddy one that's just that much and it's very boring, or you could make one that's twice the size, which would have two more of these triangles down here. You could make an entire blanket if you started big enough, and the whole thing is a good thickness because it's two-sided. I'd like to go through the whole thing of how to make one of these in videos, but it would take an awful long time. So instead what I have here is the smaller version, and this is the version that I'm actually going to show in all of the videos because it doesn't take so long to actually make, but it does actually have the change of colour in it so you can see what's happening. So here you can see a very small green triangle with a hole in it on black, and here you can see a black triangle on green. So this is what I'm going to be making, and I'm going to go through how to do it. So what do you need? Well, you need some yarn. You need two contrasting colours of yarn, and for this one I'm going to use black and green. You also need some knitting needles. Now I'm using double knitting, and therefore the needles should be 4mm, though you can try with other things as well. So these are the knitting needles sometimes that I use. These are little short ones which have funny faces on the end. These are pony ones. Those are nice if you actually want to go places, because if you're making something quite small, it means that you don't have things which are sticking in other people's eyes. So I find that's a very good sort of pair of needles to be carrying with me, but you can use long proper ones as well. Personally, I love using this type of needle, which is a circular needle. The circular needle makes life a lot easier when you're actually casting off in this particular project. And you can, if you like, use double-ended needles. I haven't got a 4mm with me, but this is what I mean by a double-ended needle, that it hasn't got, like this one's got something on the end, this one hasn't, it's pointy on both ends. That is also very useful for doing the casting off. If you're using this sort of knitting needle that's got a blob on the end, it does mean on the casting off there's going to be a stage where you actually have to transfer from one needle to the other because you can't slide it to the other end of it. What else do you need? You need a pair of scissors to snip your yarn, and you'll need a needle of some sort, a wool needle, to actually cast off if you're using the Kitchener cast off. So that's what I'm starting with. I'm going to use these needles because I like them, and here's how we start. Is going to how we start is going to be the next video, so that you can actually choose what's happening. And I don't think there's anything else I need to say except that's what I'm going to be doing. It might be worth saying how many, she says after I'm not going to say anymore, how many I'm actually going to go from. I'm going to be going from this edge to that edge, and for this one the number of stitches you cast on is 2n plus 4. This example here is where n is equal to 5. I'm going to be using n equals 3 for this one, which gives me 2 to 3 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So I'm going to be doing 12 double stitches to go on for this one. You might like to try doing this one first for yourself to try and get the techniques before you actually try for a big one. And when you do try for a big one, you might want to be twice the size of that. You might want to go to n equals 6 or go really mad and go for bigger than that.